Welcome, one and all, to the first ever episode of Kill Your Heroes, proudly presented by Slop Dogs Worldwide in association with Slop Dogs Podcast Network, the podcast network that brought you such hits as Two Guys Talking, Two Guys Writing, and Comic Rodeo, that has what I would call an astounding 57 views on YouTube. Today, we are talking with two people when the first ever episode of Kill Your Heroes, which will be hopefully bi-weekly. We'll see what happens. Who knows? But Kill Your Heroes is a podcast where I'm going to bring on a guest. I'm going to let them talk about their favorite hero or character. Could be villain, could be whatever, from comics or TV or books or movies. I'm sure nobody's going to pick books because nobody reads anymore. And I'm going to let them talk about their favorite characters. And then I'm going to put them through the ringer, so to speak. I'm going to play devil's advocate and see if we can make them doubt their own life choices. So today, on the first episode, I picked two people because those are the only two people that responded to my message if they wanted to do this or not. And I gave them the option to pick any character they wanted from TV, movie, comics, anything, just character based. They might have more than one, which is fine. This whole thing should probably be hopefully around half hour to 45 minutes. Should only hear a dog bark like 4 or 5 times max in the background because I refuse to buy a headset because it's expensive. I'm going to unmute my fellow podcasters at this point and hopefully allow them to talk if they wish to talk. Do you guys still hear me?
Wait, we're live?
We're here.
Live.
I hear you. That was a powerful introduction, by the way.
Where's Scott at? Scott left.
Can you hear me?
Scott's
Yeah, there he is.
That was a powerful introduction you had there.
It sure was.
It was beautiful.
So why don't you guys introduce yourselves and go in any order you want and hopefully talk over each other so that it's very confusing.
Jesse, you go first.
Well, my name is... Oh, okay. Yeah, hi. I'm Jesse. I talk about comics and I stream video games and work and live and stuff. My favorite character is Beast.
I didn't ask that. Okay.
Here is why he's great. Ignore Scott.
Stream's already ruined.
Scott, it's your turn now.
I'm Scott. I bang chicks and beat up nerds. That's why I'm here.
There it is. We're roaring start. We're 4 minutes in. 4 minutes in. People have already turned it off.
Yeah.
Way to go, guys.
This is already over.
We did such a good job. All right. So I'm just basically going to start by asking whoever wants to go first. I mean, Jesse already...
He already went first. Like, let's start with Wannabeast here. Let's go.
Do we really want to talk about
that? Was not real.
That was not real. Well,
that was
since
not a
you
real
brought him
thing.
up, I demand you tell the listeners who the hell that is.
Wannabeast?
Oh God, yes.
Honestly, I'm having trouble. I think he's the guy that can combine two animals.
That's who he is.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Like horsefly.
Yeah, that's a real thing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, his power is pretty interesting.
In what way?
Like he combined two animals. That's pretty cool. Like, I wonder how many other superheroes do you know?
Cat dog.
Yeah,
cat dog.
How many other superheroes do I know that can combine two things?
Two animals specifically.
Two animals. I was gonna say, can't Green Lantern make anything?
I don't think he can make anything.
He could probably take two animals and slam them the fuck together to make one.
And there it goes.
I thought it'd be my dog first.
No. 1 second.
Beat him.
Merge
he muted himself, which is smart.
Merge them together with a quieter animal.
All right, Scott. Well, why don't you? I know you said you had a couple of characters. Why don't you we start off with? I mean, do you have one favorite character?
Oh, absolutely. And I know that jumping into this, it is just you guys are just gonna rip me apart, and I am prepared with notes upon notes to defend myself.
Okay.
All right. So I'm gonna open her up with the fact that Aquaman is 100% my favorite character.
No.
100% my favorite character.
You
It's
can't just
bad.
yell at him no.
I will
Are you talking about the
defend.
dog or Scott?
I will defend Aquaman to the death, dude.
Well, just okay. Tell us why Aquaman is your favorite character. This is opinion based, of course.
All right. So first of all, Aquaman is one of the coolest characters because he's so unique. Like, think about how many characters are in the DC, the Marvel, the indie, just all that stuff.
Namor the Submariner would beg to differ.
Which
Yeah,
is
I was gonna say,
which is Marvel though. Like, how many other characters in DC do what Aquaman does? None, dude.
Aqualad.
None. But how many? Aqualad has his own different skill set, dude. He has his own different skill set. Some things actually better than Aquaman has, but things he doesn't have. But then there's so many people in DC that, for instance, are super strong. So many people that can fly. So many people that can shapeshift. But Aquaman's the only one that can command sea life. Like, and he's got that badass trident. Like, he's got some dope threads. I mean, he's cool, dude. He's a cool guy.
I mean, I gotta tell you, the movie moved me a little bit, but that's also because Jason Momoa is.
Listen,
he's an attractive man.
I hate Jason Momoa playing Aquaman, and I'm going to tell you why. When he first came out that he was going to be playing Aquaman, everybody was like, yeah, well, if there was a whole bunch of people from Atlantis, that's what they would look like. They would look, Samoan and like Hawaiian people. And that got shut down in the movie. I mean, for Christ's sake, Willem Dafoe is one of the Aqua people. And he's like, that dude, it looks nothing like Jason Momoa. I just think he's a horrible rendition of classic Aquaman. While I will not disrespect Jason Momoa for the simple fact of he could rip me in half like paper. But I just don't like him as Aquaman, dude. I don't like it.
Yeah. I mean, he is a bad Aquaman, to be fair.
He is a bad Aquaman. Yeah.
Who is a bad Aquaman?
Jason Momoa.
So you thought that movie was bad, or you just thought he was bad?
I thought the movie was good, but I thought he was bad. What about you, Schwinn?
I didn't like the movie at all. I think he's fine.
You didn't like the movie at all?
Not really. Like, it was just very meh. Like, I was just pretty bored throughout, like, watching it the entire time.
You weren't, at all stunned or taken back? Like, you didn't enjoy the visuals?
I think the most visually, thing I liked was young Willem Dafoe, but I think that's pretty much it.
You like that they physically, they put him in the CGI, made him younger. That's it.
Yes. Yeah, that was my favorite part.
You're crazy, man. That movie, so for me, that movie was full of really amazing eye-catching moments and visually stunning. Like that part where he's chained up in their big white giant hall in the middle of nowhere. That's visually stunning.
It was way too much CGI, man. I don't know.
I could see that.
It reminded me of everything looks so spacey to me. Like, I was like, what? And it's like, oh, they're underwater, but they're space. I don't know. It was just like not.
But they're space.
But
that's
space.
The tagline. That's the tagline to the movie: underwater but space.
Yeah.
Okay, so
that was just me, though.
I mean, I vehemently disagree with you, but I don't have time to tell you why you're wrong.
That's fine.
We got to get back to Scott. So Scott, your favorite character of everything is Aquaman, right? You're standing firm on that?
Straight up, dude.
Cool. And you told us that because he's so unique, right?
So yeah, he's a baller.
So it's unique in the fact that he can talk to animals, right?
Well,
or just sea life.
Yeah, sea life. I mean, he does some other weird stuff throughout the comics with other creatures, even humans, but yeah, he's pretty cool when he talks to sea life.
So let me ask you this: what would you say to somebody that's talking to you?
I'm talking to dolphins.
What would you say to somebody who would say, I've read a lot of or seen a lot of things with Aquaman in it, sans that movie, right? And it appears as though he is constantly being shown as the doofus of the group, like the least powerful, most useless. There's a meme about him talking to fish.
Yeah. Oh, right? Everywhere, dude. Everywhere.
So, how do you defend that?
Dude, New 52 comics, man. Listen, Aquaman was a standing joke back in Justice Friends, okay? Justice Friends. You know who Justice Friends had Robin looking like Peter Pan. Justice Friends had the Wonder Twins. Like Justice Friend, you can't judge people off Justice Friends anymore, dude. You just can't do it. So if you watch any of the DC movies, like the animated feature films, if you read any of the recent Aquaman comics, even some of the older comics, dude, Aquaman has been transformed into a badass. Like he is just running armies down there in Atlantis. Anytime the world runs into any type of trouble, they run to Aquaman like, yo, we need your army, or we need your help. Like always looking to him for refuge. And I mean, he always plays hard to get, but ultimately helps him out. So he went from like being the doofus to kind of like the, oh, you need my help, douchebag kind of guy. But if you read any of the newer comics, like he is on par with Superman in the strength realm, and on par with Batman in the intelligence and utility realm. Like he's just completely reimagined.
Swiss is just saying no.
He doesn't know. Like, for Christ's sake, Jesse's favorite character is the star from the show Manimal. Like, come on, it's not even a thing.
Well, I mean, the question I have for you is, you're talking about like all this new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Did you like? Is this a newfound love of, or a continuation of? Like, if he was a doofus before,
Mm-hmm.
when did he not become a doofus? And when did you start liking him? Because if you start liking him when he was a doofus, your whole argument is just thrown out the fucking window, brother.
I mean, Aquaman's always been one of those heroes that kind of caught my eye, like the old cartoon. You know what I'm saying? Like Injustice Friends, where he rode around on a giant seahorse with some weird little kid whose name was like Toto or something weird. So Tolo, something weird. Something weird.
To be fair, like all the Justice Friends were also like every superhero in like the 60s or whatever when that came out was like super campy.
Super campy, exactly, dude. And that's all anyone has to go off of Aquaman, aside from like Justice League coming out and stuff, like the newer movies, like giving him that new light, which is like cool and all. But I mean, I've been in the comics since I was a very young age. But Aquaman, I've always seen him, but I never really like thought he was awesome until oh man, let me think.
Yeah, what was the turning point?
I'd have to say my turning point for Aquaman probably was right around when they came out with New 52. I didn't really ever think to like, oh, look for an Aquaman comic. Like he's always popped up in like certain crossovers and things like that. But ever since New 52 came out, like I have every single one and all the crossovers with him in it, because a lot of the crossovers are super cool with him, but not just him, like other people too. But I'd have to say I wasn't really into old school Aquaman. Like he was just kind of really like like very just like, I don't even know, man. Just you could tell like he was made by some real dweeb, you know, like it just wasn't good.
Somebody you'd beat up, right?
Exactly, dude. He's just like somebody who thought it'd be a good idea to put him on a giant fucking seahorse. You know what I mean?
I hear what you're saying. So let's pause this because I want to get to Swinson too. Usually I would just dig in more to Scott's terrible decision to like a man who's on just in the ocean. That's all.
Ocean man.
That's not true at all.
Maybe it's a river delta.
That's not true
we'll get
at
to that.
all.
I know. No, we'll get back to that. That was my next question. Of like, I actually learned from like the movies that he does have. Like, and then I looked into it. We'll get back to you, Scott. Right. I swear to God. Maybe we will. Maybe we won't. I don't know. Your superhero is stupid. Jesse.
Yeah.
Who's your favorite character, buddy?
Like overall,
I let you pick from everything. I gave you free reign.
I know. And like
Scott picked Aqualad. I think I don't remember.
Listen, dude. What the?
I'm gonna have to go with Batman.
Oh, here we go.
All right. Listen, it's cliche, but I mean overall, it's probably my favorite.
Well, why do you say it's? Let me ask you this right off the bat. Why do you say it's cliche?
Because everyone fucking loves Batman.
Well, not everybody. I'm not a big fan of Batman. Obviously, Scott has a slight verbal disdain for him with what was that, a 6-second long?
He likes Batman.
I mean, Batman's got a lot of really cool story arcs coming out for him right now.
Probably like the coolest.
He doesn't, but I mean that's because he's all DC really has to work with right now.
Yeah. Oh wait, what about Aquaman?
Oh no!
Not enough people respect a good enough hero, so they're just gonna beat. Okay. They're gonna beat Batman like a dead horse, like they did with Superman, dude.
Listen, I'm just saying now. Batman's probably the best. He's the everyman superhero. He doesn't have any powers. He's a master detective. He has the greatest animated show of all time.
That is the truth. That is the truth,
I
though.
was gonna say it's hard to argue with that animated show.
He has, and I will dig my feet in on this. His villains are the best ever. I have said before that Spider-Man's villains are the best, but I'm changing it to Batman's villains.
See, I would actually tell you, there's two groups of villains that you gotta worry. So Spider-Man's villains, I think, are like the best sussed out mentally. I mean, and their storylines for Spider-Man, I think, would rival a lot of the stuff for Batman.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some of Superman's villains are ridiculous, but Lex Luthor is the greatest villain that's ever lived.
Ever lived? I don't know about that.
Easily.
Dude. I mean,
this pod isn't about me. I'm right, but Jesse, so you like him because he's an everyman that is.
So the real reason I like Batman is because he has his cool gadgets. So gadgets are big for me. I think he has like his media is my favorite. So like, like the animated show is like probably my favorite. He probably has the best movies, I would say.
Where are they, Joker?
Yeah, I mean, come on, you gotta love it. The Dark Knight was so good.
Martha, why did you say that name? Oh my god. Yeah,
I mean, not counting some of the MCU movies that might edge it out, but like, and also I don't know. That's why I like Batman, because I like most of Batman media that I've consumed.
Okay. Well, see, here's the thing, because what I was going to argue with you is that I hear a lot of times that there's two other people I know that really like Batman that start off the same way you do, of like he's an everyman, right?
Yeah.
But that's a lie. He's not an everyman.
No, he's a super rich billionaire.
Yeah.
But I guess in the terms of like meta powers and stuff like that, he's an everyman.
And the fact that he doesn't have superpowers.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess,
because I mean, like I don't, and like I mean, at the end of the day, it's all.
But
fantasy.
he has had superpowers before, though.
He has, but traditionally he does not.
Yeah, because if we gotta break that down, Scott, then we gotta break down like all the times that Aqualad looked like an idiot.
It's going to get messy. If we
I mean, I'm just saying.
So, with
honestly, like the everyman thing isn't as big for me as it is just the simple fact that like I enjoy most things that have Batman in them.
Do you like it for the villains more than you like it for him?
Probably, yeah. I think ultimately his villains are more interesting.
I mean, to be fair on that aspect, a hero is only as good as their villains, dude. Nobody wants to watch somebody beat the shit out of some people that are just like super
is why
lame.
Superman sucks.
Yeah, I mean that's the truth. Yeah, like
I don't need to.
Like one of his
about me.
One of his greatest villains is an anti-him that can't talk right. Like that's not good story writing.
Yeah, but Bizarro is just a fun thing to yell. Have you ever just yelled Bizarro as you did something?
No. What?
Think about the times while you're lifting at the gym, Scott. You just yell Bizarro as you go up to the... Dude,
I'm gonna start doing that now. Instead of saying like, "Come on, push it," I'm just like, "Oh,
Bizarro!"
Bizarro. I mean, that's a good point. I mean, I guess a hero's only as good as their villains sometimes, or their cast around them, their ensemble, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, would you, Jesse? Would you even qualify him as your favorite character, or he's your favorite character because of the people around him?
He's probably my favorite character because of the people around him. There are way more interesting like standalone heroes than Batman / Bruce Wayne or whatever, but if you take like the whole package of like superhero franchises, it's probably my like favorite overall.
Yeah, I mean, some of this can also account for the fact that all three of us grew up in a time when Batman was.
Yeah, I mean, I used to watch the Adam West Shark Repellent.
Shark.
That Batman. That's what I started with.
Yeah, that movie totally holds up still too, which is great.
If by holds up you mean is unbearable to watch, then yes.
Dude, I will watch that movie all day.
All right, let's watch it.
It's so good. Just dehydrating people.
Well, didn't they have like guinea pigs? Like just like six like huge guys that were like
they're just like
one.
six sailors. They're just like six sailors that are like, all right, stand here. We're gonna test out this weapon, and they're like, all right.
Yeah, I don't even know what you guys are talking about, but I'm sure it's intensely.
Have you ever watched the
Adam West movie?
the Adam
the
West
campy
Batman
movie? No, I have not.
Oh, it's
Oh,
yeah.
Listen, draw the shades. Get yourself a nice glass of cognac and just indulge.
Should I have like a crying rag just in case things get real?
Oh, dude, when he finds out who Catwoman really is, there's like a solid 15 seconds where Adam West just stares into the camera while they play like some holy music, and it is heartbreaking, bro.
Somebody in chat wants us to roast them.
What's that?
What?
Lollipops and Finger Guns is currently asking for us to roast them.
I don't
Roast
know who
two.
that is.
The only name I have is Lollipops and Finger Guns.
Is this in the chat in YouTube?
Yeah.
I don't even have that up.
Oh man, I just got a serious cramp in my leg after they said that. So
Roast me.
Yeah, I don't know who they are.
You're the roast. You're the roast master.
I am the roast master. Who am I roasting, man? What do they want?
You're roasting Lollipops and Finger Guns.
I don't know who that is. But from the sounds of them, they have a serious oral fixation, and they're really into weird hand gestures.
Boom, roasted. Okay.
Boom, roasted.
You just tell them that their parents are divorced, and that's because of them. And if their parents aren't divorced yet, they're going to get divorced because of them. Boom, roasted.
Boom, roasted. Although Lollipops and Finger Guns is a pretty awesome screen name.
All right. So, Swinson, is there anything else you think it's necessary for the world to know about Batman, other than that he talks in a real gruff voice sometimes?
I'm not wearing hockey pads.
And that's how you know. That's how you know, right? That it's not Bruce Wayne, because that voice couldn't possibly. Like when I'm talking like this, you're like, "Oh, that's Josh," and I go like this. I could be anybody. Nobody knows.
I mean, to be fair, I think Batfleck is pretty awesome for the simple fact of a lot of the things that they changed and made like for instance, he doesn't change his voice. He has a voice modulator to change his voice, which makes way more sense.
Like infinitely more sense.
And Jeremy Irons as Alfred, I mean, that just makes so much sense.
Yeah. It's a shame that, that's done with now, I guess.
I know, right?
But,
Ben Affleck, if you're out there, please come back.
I think that's Lollipops and Finger Guns.
Dude, if Lollipops and Finger Guns was Ben Affleck. No, you said I have a weird oral fixation. I'm out, dude. I'm out.
Ficus is asking us how we feel about the Telltale Studios Batman. You either guys play that or just me?
No, my brother played it for a spell, but I think it's weird. I think it's weird.
Real quick, it's real good. I liked it a lot.
I have to check it out.
I didn't play any of those things. I mean, I thought the stuff I've seen online I thought was okay, but I didn't. Unfortunately for me, I'm one of those stupid dweebs that only plays sports games.
I mean, honestly, those games are kind of boring because, like, it's just like, you're just like picking like dialogue options. It's like reading a book, basically.
Oh, like LA Noire, man.
Yeah,
reading.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Reading is for dweebs. I bet Lollipops and Finger Guns likes reading. It's the worst.
I think it might be Ben Affleck, but anyway.
Dude, it's Ben Affleck.
All right, Swinson, we're talking about the last Batman. What do you think about the new Batman?
Like Robert Pattinson?
Yeah. What's your I mean, Scott might have an opinion. What's your opinion there, Swinson?
I am remaining optimistic about Robert Pattinson.
I mean, he is a Batman, so
that is true.
I did it. Bam.
Hey, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, the thing I have been telling people is remember there was a lot of internet rage about Heath Ledger. And that turned out pretty fucking good. So, I wasn't supposed to curse. God damn it!
It's fine. Lollipops and Finger Guns asks what we think of the Batgirl TV series. I think that's the one with like Ruby
Rose.
Yeah.
I heard it's getting some guff, man. I hear it's getting some guff.
See, I hate all the CW shows. But that's
I mean, they ruined Gotham. Like Gotham was awesome at first, and then they just fucking tanked it.
Well, isn't that
Yeah.
Fox and not CW?
That's correct, but either way, I'm
Oh, was it Fox? Oh, I thought
it
it
is
was
Fox.
CW. Oh,
Now,
my bad.
CW was like Arrow and the other
Smallville.
one that
Oh,
could
The
have.
There you go.
Flash.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I never really got into any of those, man.
Yeah, I haven't seen the Batgirl TV series with Ruby Rose, but I mean, I'll
There's no way Scott's seen it. He's too busy beating up dweebs and banging chicks, right?
Nerds.
Nerds! So, all right, Scott, let me ask you a question.
All right.
We're back to Aquaman or Lad. How do I pronounce it? Is there an umlaut
It's
in it?
it's Aquaman. Christ,
Okay.
man.
Wait. What about your favorite?
I'm the host. I ask the questions. I don't bring in my own outside opinions.
Fine.
I'm
Mainly because
quiet.
they're wrong.
Yeah, that too. And I don't like, I'm emotionally fragile right now, and I can't stand someone to make me feel bad about myself. So, I'm going to be honest with you, Scott. The first time that I knew that Aquaman had any type of actual land-based abilities, and sounds terrible, was Justice League. I thought for certain that if he
Dude, come
wasn't
on.
near some type of body of water, he would slowly get weak and then just
Well,
sleep for a while or something.
which is like the ongoing joke with Aquaman, which like sometimes is pretty funny. Like Family Guy does a thing about that where this girl's being attacked on a beach and he throws Aquaman throws a starfish at him, but it doesn't hit him. He's like, "Oh, if you were over there, you'd be in real trouble. If you were doing that over here, you'd be in trouble." But like it's not, dude, because even not even just Aquaman. Like this is what's so cool about the Atlanteans and Aquaman is even one Atlantean, one just dude who's down at Atlantis, just like mopping the floors up after they like sacrifice somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
That dude comes to Earth, like comes on the surface, and he will whip everyone's ass, dude. Everyone, because like the pressure of that water down there, like that's gonna make them crazy strong when they come up here, crazy fast. Like, I mean, Aquaman himself is what's considered a super Atlantean, so he operates on like a crazy high level.
So can you explain that a little
What?
bit? Like, so what's the difference between an Atlantean and a super Atlantean?
So really the only difference is like a super Atlantean is a badass. So essentially it would be like you and a Navy SEAL.
Okay.
So super Atlanteans have like combat training, like they can do all kinds of stuff. Oh, there it is. There it is.
There he is.
There he is.
Keep going.
Thor feels some sort of way about Atlanteans.
No, that was me. That was Baloo. Keep
Oh,
going.
was it
I'm
Baloo?
gonna mute it. Just keep
All
going.
right. So it's just essentially like the difference between like you and like a highly trained person.
Okay.
But the thing about Atlantis is they just like if you were like a highborn, like they touch on it in the movies a little bit. If you're a highborn, like you really get put through the ringer. Like they're very Old Testament with a lot of stuff. So
Fighting in the middle of the lava pit.
yeah, they're very Old Testament with a lot of stuff, which Aquaman like helps. He in some aspects he helps like tone that down, but in other aspects he's just like, yeah, let's do this, because he's very, at first it's like I want to unite the two worlds, but then in a lot of storylines it's I'm just gonna make sure Atlantis is cool. You guys can do whatever you want to do, which is weird, but that's what they chose to go with. But it's just he does have abilities on land that people like don't even think that he would, but he definitely does. And there's a lot of story arcs, a lot of things that happen in comics that show him like he beats Superman's ass on like 3 occasions. And there have been times where he's fought big time villains. For instance, in the one story arc in I think it was Justice League, if I'm mistaken, he like straight up stabs Darkseid in the face with his trident. He beats Tiamat, which is like this shape shifting dragon god thing. It looks like Fing Fang Foom. And I mean, in other like comic storylines, he's like fought Cerberus, which is like the 3-headed dog from hell. Like he's done a lot of really cool stuff, and a lot of it took place outside of the water. It's just he's more in his element in the water. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
So like he does it's easy to make jokes out of him because people think he can only do stuff in the water. And when he's not out of the water, obviously he's not the best at things. The Flash is still faster than him, despite everything. Superman, I hate to say it, still stronger than him, despite everything. Batman still has access to more resources than Aquaman would. Like, you know what I mean? Like they've all beaten each other at certain points. It's just Aquaman's not a laughing matter anymore. He's actually, he's a total badass.
What do you think about Aquaman that has the hook on his hand?
I hate it. I hate it 100%. I mean, it's got really cool aspects to it. So, like, it's actually a harpoon.
Unlimited, right?
A harpoon?
It's a harpoon. Well, it's in the comics too. And in the one comic line, I don't know if it's the unlimited or what, but yeah, it's a harpoon. Like it shoots out, and then it's like a rope. But that makes me wonder, like, where's that rope coiled up at? Like, does that go in his arm? It's disgusting. Like, is that sterile? He like stabs things with it, and then it just like he like reels it back in. But he also gets something called oh god, the name of it escapes me right now, but it's like a water hand. Like it's a hand, but it's made out of like water, and he uses it.
Hand, but made of water.
Yeah, but he uses it kind of like Mira does, where like he uses it to do like water magic with it, essentially. And that's one of the storylines where he beats the shit out of Superman. It's like one of the Justice League comics. He beats Superman down in the Throne of Atlantis crossover. But I hate that rendition of him, honestly. Like, I prefer clean shaven, like short blonde hair. I prefer that Aquaman.
One looks like you.
So, sort of, yeah. Like,
I was gonna say, boy, you're getting real close to your blue eyes away from. We're gonna start having to talk to you about like your beliefs and do you have certain flags up in your house?
All nautical flags.
I'm just saying, I've been practicing my underwater breathing for a little while now because
I'm a level 6 water wizard.
I'm a level 6 water wizard. So when Jason Momoa can't cut it as Aquaman anymore, I could show up in Hollywood and just be like, "All right, I'm here. I'm here to do this. Let's do it right this time."
All that walking videos you're taking on Snapchat really just toning the core.
Pretty soon it's gonna be me in my pool, just like under there, like I'm under here for 3 minutes now.
All right, so that's I didn't know how you felt about the harpoon or hook hand or whatever.
Not a fan,
I like
man.
to call that the pirate Aquaman.
It really is, dude. And you know what? That Aquaman, he's a dick. He's very like they come to him for help so many times. Like even in that like Justice League Unlimited, I'm pretty sure they come to him for help, and he's like, "No, I'm good." Like, what do you mean you're good, bro? You live on Earth too. Like,
yeah.
Like Aquaman, Darkseid's gonna destroy Earth. We need your help. Yeah, you know what? Me and Atlantis, we're good. We're good.
Yeah, I think I think that Aquaman came out too when like pirates were like super popular.
Pirates were in that year.
Yeah.
The Caribbean. They were in the Caribbean and other places.
No, I mean, Johnny Depp Aquaman.
There was a period of time in the early to mid 2000s where the pirates were like all the rage. Like the Jack Sparrow something.
Yeah.
As far as I know, pirates are still awesome. I love One Piece, so I mean that's
save it for the Woo boys.
Oh, sorry, bud. You got yelled at.
No spoilers.
So, Scott, let me ask you another question. I watched a animated movie recently where Aquaman was it was like Aquaman versus Wonder Woman.
Oh, was it
Wonder Woman and him got it on?
Yeah. What is that? Flashpoint?
I think so. I don't know. It was Flash was heavily involved, so
you mean that they boned?
Yeah. Oh, they boned, dude. Yeah, that was Flashpoint because Mira finds out Wonder Woman. Yo, this is how savage Wonder Woman is. She kills her, right? And then wears her crown.
Yeah.
She's like, I fucked your husband, bro. And she's like, let's fight. And then she kills her and is like, this is my trophy now. So then Aquaman has to see her and he's like, where's Mira? And she's like, you see my head? You know where Mira's at. How savage.
Don't they start like a war then?
Yeah. So it's the Flashpoint paradox storyline. Flash meddles with time because Flash. That's all he's got. So he meddles with time. He comes back, and the whole world is just different. Like Bruce Wayne, his parents don't get killed. He gets killed. So his dad becomes Batman, but he's like bad Batman. Yeah, like he's got guns, he drinks all the time.
He does drink a lot in that movie.
Yeah,
There's
dude.
a lot of drinking.
And his mom actually becomes the Joker because she goes crazy because she just watched her son get murdered. So, that whole thing.
That whole chestnut.
Yeah. So, classic case of my son's dead. I gotta go crazy now. And then Aquaman, fools around with Wonder Woman, and then that goes poorly. And then or great, yeah, depending
on how much you like Mira or not.
Exactly, depending how you look at it. And then I keep saying and I feel a little weird about it. So then
Thanks for bringing it up.
Thanks, dude. One thing after another, Flash tries to set the timeline correctly. So, but Aquaman and Wonder Woman, yeah, they pretty much go to war, which should be no contest. I mean, like, the Amazons are cool and all, but Aquaman's got, like, giant crab creatures that come up out of the water and...
Crab people.
Yeah, exactly. He's got, like, crab people and the Kraken, some sharktopuses, dude, he ain't playing around, bro. Aquaman's got, he's got the goods, bro.
I think that's the next Sharknado, Sharktopus.
They taste like crab, but they kiss like people.
They look like crabs, but they kiss like people. That's what it is, bro. Plus, one of the coolest things about Aquaman is a lot of like old like sea stories and stuff about like sea creatures and like mythical creatures and stuff come to life in a lot of those comics, like the Drowned, which are awesome, like the those in the movie, those like fish things, those are huge in the comics. I mean, he essentially kills the entire race of them with one blow, which is kind of stupid, but like he gets OP sometimes. But like they're super cool. The Kraken is a big story thing in there. Just like a lot of that stuff, man. That's what's so cool.
Kraken.
Interesting.
The Kraken.
So I just kind of wanted because I liked that movie when I saw it.
I thought
I wanted your.
So,
I mean, it was a little too much like Batman, old dad Batman. He was real sad. There's a lot of sadness in like every scene he was in.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the Flashpoint movie or the Bad Aquaman?
Yeah. No, in the Flashpoint movie, it was. It's different. It's a different look on what could have been with different decisions for sure. But he was not always a good guy. In a lot of storylines, Aquaman isn't a good guy. Which, when you have an entire like civilization, entire race of people to think about with your decisions, like I get it, but I just prefer if they would keep Aquaman to thinking like I'm a hero. You know what I mean? I'm one of the founding members of the Justice League. I need to be involved. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, I hear you. Swinson.
Yes.
Why is it that I feel like the Joker would be a better character for his own story than Batman?
Because he's chaotic?
I don't agree.
You don't agree?
I don't. No.
Well, I'm saying, like, what if Batman was the side character? I almost think it would bring more people in.
No, I don't think so.
You don't
because
think so?
The Joker kind of does his own thing, man. Like outside of like Batman, like sure there are like occasions of him like working with other villains and stuff like that, but like,
bro, what about the Joker and the Batman fused together? How'd you feel about that comic? Did you read that?
Not read that.
Dude, I have them, and they are
stuff.
Yes, and they are good. Like when I said to you that Batman, they use him a lot. I've never really read a lot of Batman comics, but the DC Metal, where Batman basically it's Batman with every person from DC's power, like different. Like there's a Batman that has a Flash power. There's an Aquaman Batman. There's a Cyborg Batman. There's a Green Lantern Batman. Bro, they're good. I'll let you read them.
Yeah, I should read those. I've only read like the classic Batman stories, like the Court of Owls or whatever, and then there was the other one written by Grant Morrison that was like super trippy, but I can't think of the name for it for some right now. And then there was like a really bad one by Frank Miller that was like, "Bitch, I'm Batman" or something like that.
Wait, you're not talking about the Dark Knight, are you?
No. There was like
Superman. Oh, I was gonna say
that was did by Frank Miller, like the guy did like Sin City.
Dude, I think that's the Dark Knight, my man.
Yeah, the Frank Miller one you're talking about is the one they based I think the Batman vs Superman thing off of.
So
Like
he did
old
like
grumpy ass Batman who's
Yeah,
like all this
that's
paranoid
one
and
where his
wears spiky
sidekick was
boots.
his sidekick was a chick, right? The Robin was a girl.
think
Yeah, dude.
so? I can't remember, but like no, okay. So I looked it up. It's the one where he says, "I'm the goddamn Batman," but it's not. It's not the Dark Knight because it's like really silly.
Oh, then yeah, I don't know.
I'm not so sure that's a Frank Miller one. Frank Miller's not normally like super.
Well, it's like it's not intentionally silly.
Yeah.
It's like I'm very very badass silly sort of thing.
No, he's trying to be too badass.
Yeah. It's from the All-Star Batman and Robin, the Boy Wonder comic by Frank Miller.
Oh, well, that sounds like it might be a more of a Robin thing. The Boy Wonder.
I think it is, but like it's like he calls like Batman, the R word and like
the R word. Yeah, well, Batman, you know what? You're retired.
No, not that one. He's like, who the hell do you think I am? I'm the goddamn Batman. Like,
and immediately Robin peed his britches.
Yeah. But yeah. So
the only reason I'm asking that is because you talked before about how many strong villains and other characters there are in Batman comics, which I agree with. There are a lot of like really strong characters within those storylines. Are you drawn to the main character of it because of the side characters or because of the main character?
So I think the side characters draw the main characters together. Or I'm sorry, I said that wrong. The main character draws the side characters together.
I'm sorry, I talked bad.
I'm not good at the talking.
It's the only thing you have to do here, bud.
Yeah, like I don't think kind of like the whole like without you there isn't without Joker there's no Batman sort of thing. But I think like without Batman, like bringing like being like the universal sort of adversary to everyone in that comic book in Gotham City criminal underworld, I don't think it would be like I just don't think there'd be like as many cool characters.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. Scott, what else do you got to add about Aquaman? You said you had notes. Did you go through all your notes? Have you exhausted your notepad?
I had to take notes because I knew you guys were going to come at me, but I think I made so many good points you had nothing.
Yeah, that's what it was.
Aquaman has a wide range of powers that people overlook. Like, for instance, you said that you had no idea what some of the stuff he could do, but like aside from being able to talk to like sea life and stuff, he like has resistance to all types of different elements because of where he's from. He also has like through different storylines. Obviously, it's not like some of his staple powers, but through some storylines, like he's got the ability to heal people and like use water telepathy, like the ability to move water. Which, like, if you've seen the movie, Mira does that a lot of. He gets powers like that when he gets his little weird water hand, and he can use magic and stuff, which Superman is super weak against, so that's probably how he whipped his ass a couple times.
What is Superman weak against magic?
That's one of Superman's main weaknesses is magic.
Only Krypton.
Dude, Google it.
Yeah, no, that's true. He's weak against magic. That's real.
That's right. That's why you're a Batman fan, because you're not smart enough to be a fan of anything else.
There's only science.
And like he's got a wide range of powers, which any hero and villain, normally they go through something to keep them from getting stagnant, where they get a multitude of powers and everything. I just really hope that the people listening have gotten a newfound respect for Aquaman and educate themselves, in this clearly biased Aquaman world that we live in right now.
Uh-huh. Have you exhausted your notes now?
Yeah, my notes are exhausted, yes.
All right. Jesse, do you want to add anything about Batman? I do have like one more question for you guys before we head this thing off, but do you have any other thing you want to add about Batman, like why he's good for some reason?
What? So why he's good?
Yeah, like why you like him? Like, I don't know.
Why do I like him?
I've never been a huge Batman. I get why people like him. I'm just not that person.
No, I mean, I just think he has a lot of good media out there.
Like Batman Forever. Chill.
That's Batman and Robin, sir.
Oh, is that Batman and Robin?
Batman and Robin.
That's when
And
they have the
that-
skate shoes, right? They just click their heels together and they
Yeah,
have
they
skates.
have skates.
There's also a lot of bad media of Batman.
He has the nipple suit, dude. George Clooney's still giving refunds for that movie.
Also, shout out to Turfiner, who's watching the
Shout out to Turfiner. Yo, how do you feel about George Clooney's nipples, man? Be honest.
Who doesn't love George Clooney's nipples?
That's the best part.
That's true.
That's the best part of the movie, dude. He's just like,
That's true. All right, well, we'll end on the nipple thing for the Batman thing, because I think that's the best way to end on Batman's nipple suit.
yep.
So before I go, what I'd like to do is end this stuff with the opposite. I asked you guys to think of before you came here, like what your favorite character is. Do either of you have characters that, and not least, I don't want to say least favorite, but ones you are ashamed to admit that you like?
Oh, like dirty pleasures.
Yeah,
Ooh.
dirty pleasures.
Oh, dude, dirty pleasures.
Give me a dirty pleasure. That's what we'll name this segment. When I get better at these things, there'll be a little thing that goes across this, like a star wipe that says dirty pleasures.
That's a tough one, man.
Dude, that is a tough one.
I guess like Hawkman, kinda.
Hawkman, like Hawkman and Hawkgirl.
No, just Hawkman.
Well, yeah, but of Hawkman.
Or the Question.
Dude, the Question.
I love the Question so much. He's basically like Alex Jones, if Alex Jones could like do any sort of physical activity at all, and like had a mask that covered his face. But yeah, probably the Question. It's like my guilty pleasure.
Dude, I got a good one. Dude. You want to know who I just absolutely love? And I've never seen this person in a comic, but I have seen him in a lot of animated like movies and series. So, Gauker, you're a big Superman guy. You know Darkseid and a lot of his storyline. Mm-hmm. Dude, you know who Granny Goodness is?
Oh my god, yeah.
Dude, I love Granny Goodness.
Why do you love Granny Goodness?
Because it's like a creepy old lady with a deep voice. Hello, my name is Granny Goodness. Like she sounds like I smoke a pack of Pall Malls. Like you don't know if it's a dude or not. Darkseid, like this crazy evil guy is just like, I will bring you, and Granny Goodness will make you a fury. And then it's just this like old thing, like, oh, hello, dear. But it's like a dude, woman. I love Granny Goodness.
A live action movie with cool. Granny Goodness involved. It needs to be played by Tim Curry.
Tim Curry. Oh, dude, absolutely Tim Curry.
I was thinking Rosie O'Donnell, maybe.
Oh, or oh man, absolutely. Just
Roseanne Barr.
Just Roseanne, just being racist.
You know, honestly, dude, if I could picture anybody as Granny Goodness, it would be like Rodney Dangerfield if he was still alive. Wouldn't he be a great Granny Goodness?
Oh my god.
Oh, Darkseid, I get no respect. I get no respect. You know?
So that guy would be in that movie like for something like that for 6 seconds before the director's like, we can't have him.
We got so much love for you, but you gotta get out of here.
We'll
you gotta put your pants
on. Put your pants on.
Put your pants back on. Get out of here.
Let him finish his lines. We'll tell him he's in the movie. He's not. We'll give you a credit. We'll give you a credit at the end.
Oh, dude. Yeah, I know. I love
credits where you see rolling by. You're like, Rodney Dangerfield. He wasn't in this movie.
Rodney Dangerfield was in this. Where was he at? He shows up at the premiere even though he was clearly not invited.
So unless you guys want to talk about anything else, I think that's a good couple 40-some minutes. I don't want to get too crazy with your stuff. I know you exhausted all your notes there, Scott, so that's good.
Listen, you said that you were going to ravage us, and you know what? I came with, I came loaded, man, and you know what? I made a good fight for Aquaman. I'm happy about this.
You did make a good fight for Aquaman. I didn't feel like I really needed to ravage you that much. I mean, the only stuff that you really were talking about is how you like an Aryan man as Aquaman, and I thought, well, let's not get into this.
Oh no, we've made it here. Episode 1. Oh God, no! What has happened?
I feel like we needed to get the Aryan Brotherhood so early on in the episodes.
Oh, God, I'm
Goodbye,
just saying.
Twitch viewers. Goodbye.
So what I'm at the end here, what I'm going to try to do is, hopefully we can get another one going here in about 2 weeks with some other people. Maybe we'll have Scott and Jesse back too, so they can pick apart other people's things if people are available. I'm going to try to do this on Wednesdays at 7. We'll be done and out before 8 o'clock, so you can catch your prime time viewing things. Like one of my guilty pleasures on Thursdays is Double Shot at Love. That's
What?
right. I watch that show religiously, and I missed
Well-
last week's episode, and I'm very excited to watch the DVR episode of it in a couple of minutes. This turned into a whole brought to you by MTV, sponsored by
Jesus.
MTV,
Sponsored by MTV.
and their shit reality shows. But then, so we'll in about 2 weeks we'll have another one. Hopefully, you guys can come back and listen and chill. And Scott and Jesse, if we can have you back.
Shut that
week.
damn dog up.
That's not even mine.
That's mine.
If we can have you guys back in 2 weeks, even if we have some more people, you guys can ravage them as well. So the more people we have to make fun of people and kill their heroes, so to speak, we'll do that. But I would say that this episode, Scott, if we got to give out points, we give points to Scott.
Yeah,
and we
that's
take
fair.
take away points from Jesse Swinson.
What?
Negative points. Negative points.
I mean, I wouldn't give Jesse negative points because he made a good point, dude. Batman and his media, I mean, it's the most iconic out of anything DC. Batman and his media is the most iconic.
I mean, I agree with you.
Whether
I'm just
it's
trying
good,
to belittle Jesse, just trying to
whether-
make him feel bad about himself.
That's
oh, he knows. He knows. He already feels bad about himself.
knows what
But
he
I mean,
Constant state of self-loathing.
yeah.
That's how that should have been I should have ended the podcast when I said constant state of self-loathing. That should have been the last thing.
Just like
anybody heard.
Just like the sound, the beat to Darkness. Hello, Darkness, my old friend, without the words.
Hello, darkness, my...
Well, yeah, we'll go out and Jesse sing that silently while you sob, please.
Wow, you suck.
So hopefully you guys can come back in 2 weeks. I'll set some stuff up on the Messenger. We'll see if we can't get this stuff out. And Swinson is streaming this also on his Twitch. So before we go, anybody want to shout out their socials real quick or Twitch? Jesse Swinson?
My Twitter is @SessyJwinson. And then my Twitch is, well, if you're watching it on Twitch, it's here, but it's twitch.tv /Swinsanity.
Damn, dude.
He's a mogul. He's a mogul, brother.
I'm a media mogul.
Fessler, you got any shout outs you want to make, bud?
Yeah, shout out to Dan Soder, Big J Okerson at the Bonfire. You can catch that on Sirius XM. They are actual famous comedians, and everybody should watch them because listen to them because they're amazing. But that's pretty much it. I don't do any of this shit for real, so.
Yeah, you don't have any social medias you want people to contact you at?
Not really. I mean, I got Twitter. You can tweet me at ScottyFess. You can probably find me through Jesse's though if you add him. I'm the only person who comments on his shit, so you'll find me there.
All right, cool. Well, thanks for coming, you guys. Everybody that watched Slop Dogs Podcast Network or it's Slop Dogs Worldwide, you'll find us there. SLOPPDAWGS. We're the best ever. Hopefully, we'll see you in 2 weeks. And when I say hopefully, I mean we totally will, because I'm totally going to try to make this happen again. Thanks for listening.
All right.
Yay!
Mm-hmm.
Thanks for ending on such a high note, Jesse.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.